Hey everybody, I'm Jason,
I'm Jerry.
and this is the Drywood Creek Brewcast. Now, Jerry, we decided to do this as we're enjoying beer. So tell everybody a little bit of something about why we're doing this.
Well, we like local beer and we like to drink local. So we decided there's probably a whole lot of other people out there that are just like us. And we figured, hey, what's a better way to tell them about what's a good beer, what's not a good beer maybe. Here's something you should try if you've never tried it. So we figured we'd put something together to help you guys maybe make a good decision whenever it's time to go buy a six-pack.
So really what we're doing is a public service. Making sure you know about the beers that you're going to get before you get them.
Yes.
So what we're going to do here today is we're going to do a few things. We're going to go through like a little bit of beer history because we need to know about the things that we're drinking. We're also going to be talking about Core Brewery and one of our favorite beers, the Razorback Red.
So we've also decided we were going to give each beer that we feature a rating test. So we've rated it on a whole bunch of different things. The taste, the smell, the color, all sorts of stuff. We're going to get into that here a little bit and let you all know how we rated this Arkansas Red.
So basically we just want everybody to be informed consumers.
Again, a public service.
And now let's just get right into beer history. Okay, Jerry, I decided to take this way back because beer has been around for a long time. As a matter of fact, probably a lot longer than most people know. I did a little research, extensive research on my phone. And you know how it goes. And I might have been enjoying a beer while I was researching. I mean, that's just how it goes. Talking about beer, you've got to be consuming beer while you're just studying the history.
I know as soon as I start talking about it, I won't know.
Exactly. Well, I found out that they had discovered a 13,000-year-old brewery in a cave in Israel.
Wow.
Now, that's pretty amazing.
So my question is,
Yes.
if it was put on this table, would you taste it?
Well, let me talk about that for a second. Because one of the things that the scientists said, they kind of went back and they remade the beer.
Okay.
Just by the things they found. They kind of back-engineered it,
Okay.
backward-engineered it. And they found out that the beer that they made was less like beer, like we know today, and more like a gruel. Now, I don't even know what a gruel is.
First of all, that sounds terrible.
It does sound, I mean, nobody's like, hey, come enjoy a nice gruel with me today. It's not like we're going to go share a gruel at a ball game. I mean, come on. So, I would probably taste it just because I have an adventurous spirit.
Sure.
I mean, would you taste it? That's the thing.
Not the 13,000-year-old version. The new version, yes, I would taste.
Imagine how much alcohol is in the 13,000-year-old version, though.
I'm not tasting that one.
There'd be no walking after that. I mean, public intox right there.
Need no living, maybe.
But the thing is, it's like 13,000-year-old gruel, maybe not tasted, but somebody said it was beer, probably would.
Sure.
Yeah.
Name it something else, I'd probably try it.
Now, here's the thing I thought was interesting about this article is they thought maybe it was for agricultural reasons to actually save some of the grains and things to make bread, but they're discovering that beer was probably made before bread. Which,
You got your priorities. I
yeah,
guess.
you gotta have. Well, we don't have to eat anything, but we have beer, so we're good. But they also discovered that they used it for more like ritual purposes or spiritual needs.
That's what I use it for.
It's like we get more spiritual with every drink, right?
That's right.
It's like, hey, we're just a little spiritual, a little bit more. And for 3 or 4 of these, I'm real spiritual.
Yep. Absolutely.
So that's just a little bit of beer history for you guys.
So let's talk about the beer that we've decided to review for you today. It's this Arkansas Red, like we've already told you. It comes from Core Brewery, which was founded back in 2010 by Jesse Core. It started out really small at 8 27-gallon fermenters, and now they're huge. I don't even know how many there are, but there's a ton, and it's big. It's a big operation.
Oh yeah. If you go out there, Gary, it's just like massive stainless steel tanks, just one after another. I mean, it's a huge production. Nice place. Nice place.
Well, hopefully they'll let us come back there and check it out sometime soon because I'd love to see it.
Oh yeah.
They do have a whole bunch of beers on tap that you can try. Obviously, it's not just this one here. They got the Arkansas Red Lager. They've got this Arkansas Red, Razorback Red Lager. My bad. They've got the Abe Bach, which is fantastic.
That is awesome.
Mixtape, which is like a chocolate milk stout. They've got a toasted coconut. That sounds delightful.
That one is good.
Dixon Street IPA in Heisenberg. Who doesn't like that?
I wonder if it's
First
blue. Is it blue?
I hope if it's not blue, please make it blue.
It
That
needs
would be
to be.
awesome. Anyway,
Okay.
Hilltop IPA. They've got a whole bunch of stuff that you can choose from. And from what I've tasted from Core Brewery is I haven't tasted anything that I didn't like yet from them. So
Yes.
I enjoy their beers.
Now, as you can tell, we're doing the Razorback Red. So any of you sport fans probably knows we're from the state of Arkansas. Jerry's originally from Missouri. I forgive him. But we're in Arkansas now, and they are actually the official craft brewery of the Arkansas Razorbacks. So any Arkansas Razorback game you go to, you can get this beer, which is very good. Very
And you probably are going to need a couple beers if you go to an Arkansas Razorback.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
I mean, last couple seasons for sure. Maybe this one will be different.
Maybe.
COVID will have them as the only team playing. So there we go. But yeah, if you notice too, Core, not this one so to speak, because it's got the Arkansas Razorback, but they do have a dog on their logo. And so that's one of the things, I'm a dog person. So I just kind of thought that was interesting. What happened was is that Jesse Core is apparently a sports fan as well. His team lost the state championship, so his mom bought him a wiener dog, and his name was Barney. He was with their family for 19 years, and so as he started his brewery, he decided to use that dog as part of his logo, which is pretty interesting.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Cool. All right, so it's time to rate this beer. We went off of, I think it was like, what, 7 or 8 different things. You can keep count here in a minute. I don't know. The first one we rated on, and we rated this on a scale from like 0 to 5. We're calling it frothy mugs, by the way. So the first thing we rated was clarity. Okay, I gave this beer 4 frothy mugs. It was clarity in color. It's red. It's a red beer, and but it's for a darker type of beer. I thought it was very clear.
Yeah, and that's actually why I rated it an extra half of the frothy mug. So I went 4.5 frothy mugs. It was pretty clear, and one thing I did is I held my phone right up to it and made sure I didn't see much of things floating inside the beer. And so really, for a red, semi-dark beer, it's pretty clear.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. The next thing we rated was the head of the beer. I gave it 4 frothy mugs again. I said the head stayed there. It didn't deteriorate too quickly. It was there for a good amount of time, and which helped with the smell, the aroma that I'll talk about later.
Yeah, I rated it 4 frothy mugs as well. It did stay for a good amount of time. It wasn't one of those beers that you pour and then you put it down, turn around, and the head's gone. Mm-hmm. It was still there. Yep. And yeah, we'll get the aroma in a little bit.
The next thing was malt. Now this one was a tough one because it wasn't like too malty. It wasn't not malty enough. It was just about right. So I didn't know how to rate that, So I gave it 3.5 on the malt, but with an asterisk, I guess, because it's the exact amount I think this type of beer should have.
Right. Yeah, and I think the same thing. I went 3.5 as well. Some people may like a really malty beer, and so they may rate it a little higher or lower based on that. But really, I mean, we're kind of going on our opinions here.
Right.
And when I drank it, I thought there's definitely a malt taste, but it wasn't overpowering.
Right. Okay. As promised, aroma. When I cracked this thing open and I poured it into my mug, I thought the smell was fantastic. I gave it 4.5 frothy mugs, which was, I think, my highest score of the whole sheet. I thought it smelled, the aroma was fantastic, and it definitely stayed there with you. It's not overpowering, but it smells fantastic.
Yeah, this one's good in a can, but if you can drink it in a glass, you get that full aroma. Mm-hmm. I did rate it 4 stars on aroma, and the thing, 4 frothy mugs. I did rate it 4 frothy mugs on aroma. To me, it smelled slightly like caramel. Like when I smelled it, I thought that smells like a caramel.
I did notice that a little bit after you were talking about it. I'm like, that's the smell. Yeah, I was picking it up. After you told me what it was that I should be smelling, there it was.
Yeah, and you don't get it as much from the can, but you get it from the glass.
Right.
So it actually has a really nice aroma.
Absolutely. Taste. This is probably one of the most important things whenever you're talking beer. Well, probably the most important thing, I guess.
Right.
I gave it 4 frothy mugs out of 5,
which is pretty good.
Full flavor. It's a little bit of a nutty flavor to me, and honestly, I could have went higher. 4 was definitely the lowest I would have ever given this beer. And on a maybe today, if we did this again, it'd get probably a higher score. But it's never going to go lower than that. It's a fantastic beer.
Yeah, I went 5 out of 5 frothy mugs. I think you went 4 because you're not from Arkansas. I'm just saying that. I'm just going to throw that out there. Maybe it's because you're not from Arkansas. But what I really liked about this beer is the flavor is one that you can really have it with, like a meal, or you can just have it by itself. It's not real heavy,
Right.
but it's not like real thin.
No.
So it's not a beer that you're going to think you're not getting your money's worth.
Right.
It's a great beer.
It's got some body to it, and I
Yes.
like that a lot. The last thing was the finish. I gave it 4.5 frothy mugs out of 5. The finish is just, it's there on the back of your tongue, but it's not like an overpowering taste. It's not one of those beers you take a drink and then you forget you had a drink of it.
Right.
It's still there, but it's a crisp, nice finish.
I gave this a 5 on this one as well, 5 frothy mugs. As you can tell, I really like this beer.
I can tell.
It's one of those beers that I can see myself buying a lot of.
Uh-huh.
What I liked about the finish is that there is a slight bitter taste right after you get done drinking it, but it only lingers for a little bit. It doesn't stay there and like ruin the flavor of anything else. It's
Right.
just slightly bitter for just a little bit, and it just kind of goes away. Which it's a really good, interesting beer.
I like it a lot. So I think, that we didn't really give it an overall, I guess, which
No.
we should probably do.
Yeah, I guess we should. give it
I'm going to do
overall.
that right now. We're calling it audible.
Okay, let's not count the hoppy part because that would kill our overall.
I'm getting rid of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a solid 4 frothy mugs. Solid 4.
I would stand behind that 100%. Solid 4 frothy mugs. It's a good beer. It's full flavored,
It's fantastic.
smooth, that slight bitter taste. I just love it. And but the fact that it's not harsh, you don't feel like you're drinking
Right.
seltzer.
Right.
So overall, we gave it 4 out of 5 frothy mugs. We can really say that the Drywood Creek Brewcast recommends Razorback Red,
Absolutely.
even if you're from Missouri.
It's delicious.
Okay, so now's the most important segment of our little show here. So what do you have for us, Jerry?
This is the hold my beer moment. So this hold my beer moment comes to us from none other than the state of Florida.
Of course.
Why wouldn't it, right? So the headline is Florida man arrested in local park for practicing karate on swans.
That's the most Florida thing I've heard today.
How many beers do you have to have before practicing karate on swans is a good idea?
Really, swans are mean. I don't know if you've been around any swans.
I've never fought a swan, but I've seen them on TV fight, and no.
I'm thinking they're quite ninja-like. So practicing karate on swans might actually be a good thing.
Maybe they needed it.
Yeah.
Maybe they were asking for it. I have no idea.
I'm just thinking this guy, if he can practice his karate on swans and get proficient at that,
Right.
he can be bodyguard for people as they run their parks.
That's true.
Because I've been chased by a swan, I've been chased by geese, and this guy might be onto something.
That's true.
That's a really good hold my beer moment.
So that was the hold my beer moment.
Yeah, thank you, Florida.
Thanks, Florida. All right, everybody. That was the first episode. And thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. We feel like that we picked a great beer to start with.
Oh, yeah.
And we really appreciate you watching this. Hopefully see you soon.
Yes, we're very excited to get this started, and we'll see you next time on the Drywood Creek Brewcast. Drink up.
Cheers.